Samantha from Jessima Tutorials here, and today I'm going to be showing you a fun alcohol ink stamping technique using polymer clay. Now to start off with, I would recommend a metallic clay. I'm going to be using white today, but you can experiment around with different metallic clays. This is specifically Primo Pearl White. It has been rolled out to about 1.5 millimeters thick on the pasta machine, or the middle setting on most machines. You're then also going to want a texture stamp that is going to be pressing the detailed part of the texture into the clay, so that will be the indented part of the texture rather than the raised part of the texture. Feel free to use any texture stamp you want. This is one of the ones that I have carved and sell on my Etsy store, Jessima Design. There will be a link to that in the description below. Now the first step is going to be to just apply a little bit of cornstarch to both your stamp and your clay. This is going to prevent it from sticking when you go to stamp. And yep, you shouldn't be able to, this should be nice and smooth to the touch. And that's how you know you've applied enough cornstarch. You're then going to just pop that clay down into your stamp. I then would recommend grabbing something like a baby wipe and just popping that over the top, and that just kind of removes any friction between your fingers and the clay, because sometimes your clay can stick to your fingers and then it will lift up out of the texture, and that can cause the texture to come out with a ghost pattern, which is undesirable. You could use a roller. I prefer using my fingers to at least get the first initial texture in, and then I'll go in with my roller. It just makes it so that I can have a little bit more control. Alright, and that should just about do. You're then just going to lift your baby wipe up, pop that to the side, and lift your clay out of your texture. And you should end up with a nice impression like that. Then you're going to just grab your brush again and just use that to dust off any extra cornstarch. There shouldn't be a lot on the surface. And then from here we're going to be cutting out our shapes. And I'm going to be using this little petal cutter. And I'm just going to look for some nice spots on the clay. I'm not going to look to have mirror pieces, seeing as there isn't really a way to do that with this stamp. But just look around and find a nice spot that encapsulates your pattern quite nicely. And I think that's a nice spot there. There we go. And I just need 2 cutouts because I'm going to be making 1 pair of earrings today. So this, the remaining texture, because it's just 1 solid colour of clay, you can pop that back in with your clay. There's no waste. Then just smooth around the edges to get rid of any little bits that might be left. You probably will have a texture on the back due to the baby wipe, which is another reason why I use it. And then these are going to go into the oven for about 15 minutes. If it's preheated, 10 minutes will do. All we want to do is just harden the clay, because we're going to be going and stamping alcohol ink onto this, and I find that the alcohol ink kind of has a nice blooming effect when the clay has been baked, because it doesn't absorb into the clay. So you do want to heat set these, but it doesn't need to be for the full bake time, just enough so that they're hardened. And here is how it should look once it's out of the oven. Now you do want to be careful with this, because if you didn't bake it for the full time and only did it for about 10 to 15 minutes, this will be quite fragile, so don't try to bend it. Preferably don't drop it, it's kind of fragile at this point. And from here what we're going to do is essentially we're going to do this. So I've done the other piece already, and you're going to be using alcohol ink to get that effect. Feel free to use any colour that you want, but I'm going to be using eggplant, stone washed, and turquoise. The turquoise one you could skip if you wanted to, it just adds a little bit of an extra tinge of colour, but you could get this done with just the stone washed and eggplant. and I'm just going to take this, and I am going to be using a piece of paper so that I can move it around, and so that if any ink spills, the paper will soak it up. I'm also going to be using one of these little makeup sponges. Any kind of flat surface will work, and we're going to be tapping that ink on. I'm just going to pop this to the edge so that I can apply the ink. And I'm going to start off with the stone washed, because that's the colour that I want to be the main colour. And you're just going to pop a sponge in there, and then you're going to just gently tap over the surface. And we're going to be building up colour. It's not going to be particularly strong at first. You're just going to be tapping that colour on, and you're going to find that it kind of blooms out over time. And the reason we're using this rather than just applying droplets is because we want the indentations of the texture to remain white, and this gives us a lot more control over where the inks go and allows us to just highlight the top part of that texture. And you're just going to continue applying the ink, building it up slowly to create that effect. And you could of course do this in any colour that you want. I'm going with this kind of wintry blue, but this would look nice in a number of different alcohol ink colours. Alright, and I'm just going to continue doing that. And there we go, that's how they should end up looking. And if you're having trouble getting the colours to look distinct, what you can do is you can apply your first layer of ink, give it like 2 minutes to dry, and then go back in and add more ink. You'll find that it will kind of layer over itself and will create a darker and more definitive colour as you go. Now you could leave it at this point, but what I want to do is I want to grab a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. Any strength will work, and I'm going to just spritz this from a distance, and you'll see that there is a blooming effect. So there we go. And I only want to do a little bit because it's very easy to overdo it, but that should add a little bit of extra interest. Though that is completely optional. If you don't have that, this will completely work without it. This is now going to go into the oven for another half an hour to completely heat set the ink and to also bake the clay through properly. You'll find that the colours will fade a little bit. So once it's been baked, we're probably going to apply another layer of alcohol ink depending on how much they fade, and then we're going to apply a layer of resin to this. Alright, and here they are out of the oven. And they're properly baked now. They've gone a little bit more pink, but the ink actually has not faded at all really. I don't feel like I need to add more, and it's preserved that kind of spotted effect. So I think we're good to apply resin. And it's actually good to apply the resin to inks that have been heat set rather than applying them to fresh inks that are just sitting on the surface, because it means the inks are less likely to lift with the resin and kind of create a swimming colour effect. This should preserve the pattern. Anyway, I'm going to be using this UV resin. You could also use a gloss varnish if you want to. And I'm just going to apply a nice layer to this, and then I'm going to pop it under a UV lamp for roughly 15 minutes. I do 15 minutes, but whatever works for you. Just going to go around those edges, and this should really bring out that lovely metallic effect, and it should make everything just look a little bit brighter. There we go. I feel like that's enough resin, and then you're just going to spread that around. And yeah, then you'll pop it under the UV light for a little bit until it is set, and then from there we can assemble our earrings. And here is how that looks once it's finished curing. It's got a nice glossy dome to it, and that metallic clay definitely shows up underneath those alcohol inks, and in general it just is a nice effect. From here I'm going to use a little handheld pin drill to drill a hole at the top of my piece over here, and that should be a pretty quick process. There we go. And then from there, you're just going to grab a jump ring and your ear wire of choice. I'm going to be using this little stud backing. And you're just going to open up the jump ring, pop that through, pop on your ear wire, and close that up. And there we go, that's just about it. Nice and simple, but I think quite effective. And here's the other one, I finished that one up as well. But yeah, that is just about it for today's tutorial. I do hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're going to give this one a try, let me know. If you want to share photos, I do have a Facebook group linked in the description below. I'm constantly checking out what you guys make on there, and I love seeing what you guys make. So if you want to share photos, there is a link there. If you like the tutorial, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing, as it helps the channel out and gets these videos out to more people that like doing polymer clay. Another way to support the channel is to check out my Etsy store, Jessima Design, where I sell things such as the texture and the cutters that I used in today's video, along with other handmade polymer clay tools and supplies. A different way to support the channel is to become a member. There is a join button just below this video where you can become a member of the channel and gain access to these videos early, as well as member exclusive content. There's also a link to my Patreon account in the description. That's also a membership, the exact same as the YouTube one, so either one is greatly appreciated if you want to check it out. But that is just about it. I do hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.